want to talk about something that's very important today, and that is the definition of deed. One of the words inside of our theme scripture for the year says, whatsoever you do in word or deeds. Let's talk about the definition of deed. A deed is something that is done, that is performed or accomplished. It is an act. It is an act or gesture, especially as we look at just with someone's intentions of one's character. So we talk about, we must understand that when we look at our theme scripture for the year, it says, and whatever we do in word or deed, so whatever we do in our actions or things that we perform, the things that we try to accomplish, the things that we aim to do, then we must understand that these things are actions, the things that we do, that these should be done to give God the glory and the honor so that we can give God the glory and the honor through our lives. Amen. And so one of the things I want to talk about today is how can we, through our deeds and our actions, the things that we try to accomplish, the things that we perform, how can we give God the glory and the honor and the praise of due unto his name? And remember, to go back a little bit, we talked about in Matthew last week, we talked about that Jesus, he was speaking, he was letting them know, he said, look, you should be the salt and the light of the earth. And we talked about how that as salt and light during the times that Jesus walked the earth, that the Hebrews, that was very, very valuable to them, was very valuable to them, because salt it had so many different functions and things that they could use it for. They could use it to preserve their meat. They could use it for to disinfect ailments and wounds and things of nature. It was sometimes used in ceremonial events and things of that nature, and also it was also a unit of exchange. So we see that salt had extreme value. And then we talked about light. We knew that the light bulb was not invented until the 1800s or so. And so during the time when Jesus was alive, when it became dark, when the sun was not up, the only way that you could light a house is that you had to put a candle. And the scripture will talk about how they did not hide it. They did not put anything over that candle. Why? Because they wanted it to light the whole house. And we must understand that we should be the salt and the light of the earth. We in terms of how God can use us for his glory and his honor, we must understand that we have extreme value, that we can add value to the lives of the people that we come in contact with. But one of the things that's really struggling with, which that I'm really frustrated about, that I really see this happening, that I see people who should be children, who say they're children of God, that they are Christians, that they're born again believers, that they fail to show compassion. They're not compassionate people. They're not able to show mercy, to show someone kindness, to put themselves in someone else's position, to suffer along with somebody else. And what I want you to understand is that we're truly going to be that salt and that light that we talked about last week. If we're truly going to intentionally give God the glory and the honor and the praise is due unto him, then we must be men and women who are able to show compassion. And I want to encourage you, and I want you to understand that being a man of compassion is very, very important. Being a woman of compassion, not just a man, but a woman of God of compassion, that you will be living your life in such a way that you're pointing people back to Christ, that you're showing them an aspect of who God truly is, for we know that God is a compassionate God. Amen. So we must understand that this is like God, we must be intentional with our lives. This means that we must pay attention to our thoughts in life. Nothing good or bad that I have done ever just happened. No, it never just happened. But whatever that deed, whatever that action was, it all began with a thought. So deeds are nothing more than the product of our thoughts. And as Christians, we must guard our hearts and our minds. So our deeds or our action, nothing but a product of our thoughts. So if we are going to have compassionate deeds, or we're going to have deeds that can show the love of God, that can show mercy, that can truly give God the glory and the honor, then we must change our thought process. We cannot have the mindset that is just about me and my family. We can't just have the mindset, look, if it doesn't affect me, then I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to be concerned with nobody else's problems. But we must understand that we must be men and women of compassion. So why is that true? Amen? Why is it true that we must be men and women of compassion? Well, we're going to begin to talk about that. We're going to talk about why it's important that we